election. Protesters rallied here in Baltimore calling for every vote to be counted. Fox 45's Riel Creighton is live tonight with that story for us. Riel?
Well, Mary, tonight we found out that there is actually a very different standard for which votes are being counted in one very key battleground state, and that is Pennsylvania. This, as tonight, there are protesters here in Maryland, even though this race was decided early, who say they are standing in solidarity with the voters in some of those now contested battlegrounds.
The Trump campaign filed lawsuits Wednesday to stop the vote count in multiple states. Key battleground, Pennsylvania.
The last thing we want to do is take a ballot out of there and the legislation or Supreme Court come back and say, oh, you can't count those.
Fox 45 News on the ground in the state today, not far from the county line in York, where County Board of Elections President Julie Wheeler told us they're not going to risk a ruling from the Supreme Court saying ballots arriving after Election Day, postmarked by November 3rd, can't be added to the counts, so they're not counting them. Larger areas like Philadelphia are.
We are waiting because the Supreme Court has not ruled on what we're to do with those ballots. So we want to do the responsible thing, keep the ballots intact, keep them safe and secure, and then when we are given instructions on how to count them, we will count them.
Meantime, in Baltimore,
this is personal because people before us fought so hard to get it, we cannot lose it.
They rallied from Northern Parkway to Baltimore City, simultaneous demonstrations.
Every voter's voice must be heard.
Same message.
It's truly an abomination.
For Andre Powell with the People's Power Assembly, they march over many things. This time,
no matter who wins, we specifically want to say let every vote count.
An election fight fueling frustration on both sides.
And right now, it is unclear how many, if any, of those newer mail-in ballots are waiting to be counted in any of those other counties in Pennsylvania.
Well, it is still early to know about voter turnout for this election season. We did see those long lines, right? But we do know some Baltimore residents are deciding to vote with their feet, deciding to leave the city rather than stay and cast ballots for change. Amy Simpson is live now with those details for us. Amy?
Mary, we hear time and time again that people are sick of politics. Others telling us they're just tired of living in Baltimore.
Beating feet straight out of Baltimore. Between 2010 and 2019, U.S. Census data shows a nearly 30,000 person drop in the city's population. An economist telling Fox 45 in September there's no one reason people are packing up and moving out.
How can we turn this around? If we deal with the criminality, if we reduce crime, if we deal with nitty-gritty quality of life issues like trash, and we sort of have rules around squeegee boys and these kinds of things, I know a matter of enormous controversy, we might get more people to live downtown, shop downtown, work downtown.
When it comes time for elections, one community activist says Baltimore has more motivation to hit the polls.
But clearly, they're voting because they want change. Our neighborhoods are in bad shape. Our schools need work. There's not equality in terms of investment in neighborhoods across our city.
But the who and what they're voting to support, Baltimore is all over the map. In 2020, an overwhelming 311,000 registered Democrats, just 30,000 Republicans, with 52,000 choosing no party at all.
Now, while the city's population is shrinking, a higher percentage of the people left behind are at least registering to vote. The number of eligible active voters in the city this year up 9,000 from the number in 2016.
Now to the race for the White House. Right now, ballots are still being counted. One of the biggest battlegrounds, of course, is Pennsylvania. It is a must-win for President Trump. Without it, he cannot get the 270 electoral votes he needs to win re-election. We want to go back to Mackenzie Frost. She is live across the border for us in York, Pennsylvania. Mackenzie, get us back up to speed with what's going on there.
Hey there, yeah. So here in York County, ballots that came in through Election Day have been counted and those results have been reported to the state. But the County Elections Board president is not counting additional mail-in ballots that come in through Friday, despite the okay from the state Supreme Court to do so. While time is ticking, the beat of daily life drums on. All eyes are on Pennsylvania as election workers continue counting ballots in Tuesday's election, 2 days after polls closed.
So I did my job, and that was the vote. And now where I'm at is I'm letting go and not getting stressed out.
Tracy Young is hooked up to oxygen after battling COVID-19 in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Being in the hospital and being hours away from being on a ventilator, it has taken me to a whole different level of gratitude.
Tens of thousands of ballots still need to be counted in Pennsylvania. Allegheny County postponing counting until Friday. York County, the outlier in the Keystone State.
We are waiting because the Supreme Court has not ruled on what we're to do with those ballots.
In October, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court extended the deadline, allowing ballots to arrive by Friday at 5 o'clock. If postmarked by Election Day.
And the last thing we want to do is take a ballot out of there and the legislation or Supreme Court come back and say, oh, you can't count those.
Any additional ballots arriving in York are being held separately. For now, Young keeps busy, beating his drum.
I need help over here.
Taking in the fresh air while he can.
Having the ability to breathe. And there's people right now in the hospital that can't do that.
Encouraging the country to take a breath too.
Amen.
And wait patiently for the votes to be counted. Now, the latest results here in York County show the county is going to vote overwhelmingly for President Donald Trump. Election leaders here say they don't anticipate a significant amount of mail-in ballots to come in and trickle in through Friday. While the county waits to see what the Supreme Court does, President Donald Trump's campaign is also looking to the U.S. Supreme Court to weigh in and block what they are calling late ballots from being counted. However, late ballots not really going with what the current state law says, since we know the Supreme Court allowing those ballots to be counted if they're postmarked by Election Day and arrive by 5 o'clock tomorrow.